Okay. Okay. So the thing is that as I discussed in the demo session previous also, that your Java JDK should be stored in your machine, and then your Eclipse should be there. Okay. So if any one of you have any doubt in that, you can contact me and I will help you. Okay. Okay. So today I'm going to start with the first topic, that is Java project, and then I will come to the topic of, you can say, class and object in Java. So first of all, tell me from your side, anybody have any idea when I say that I'm going to create a Java project? What do you mean by Java project? Anybody? Okay, I always try to make this session interactive. Okay, so that, because the thing is that when the questions will come from your side, you will learn more. Otherwise, I will keep on saying same thing and you are not going to interact. So it is better than to join some YouTube sessions. Yes or no? You agree or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So whatever you want to say about like something, if you have any idea what is Java project, or is there any you want to explain Java project in terms of your system or anything, you can explain me. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me. Okay. So now I will tell you how you can create the Java project and what is the basically Java project in Eclipse. Okay. So everybody is able to see my screen. You are able to see this Eclipse.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in Eclipse, you will see there is an option in the top menu that is called File, New, and at the right side you will get an option that is called Java project. So when I click on Java project, just see carefully because you are going to learn very, very beautiful things. When you click on that, you get an option of creating a Java project. You give a particular name here. So in your case, let me give a name, 18th batch. 18th batch, I'm saying 18th batch complete automation. Okay. So I've given a name here, and because Java is already installed in your machine, that's why you can see here in the use and execution environment, it is showing you Java SE 1.8. Okay. Now, when you have just given the name of your project and you have click on finish. So everybody know that we can create a Java project in this way. Everybody know this? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now the thing is that when you have created this project, so question is that, what do you mean by Java project in Eclipse? So actually what happens, not only about the Java project, what do you mean by project? Project is something like that you are going to perform some particular task for a particular purpose. So that's why you call it project. Yes or no? In your college time, in your academic time also, you have done so many projects, like I'm working on a project of science project, like you can say like math project, something like that. Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
So project is something like that where you are going to perform a particular task. And what happens that for when you are saying the project means, if you are going to perform some particular task, you are going to make it more organized. What do you mean by organized? In the organized means, take the example, if in your company you are working on a testing project of a application. So now your manager or your stakeholders want to share some documents to you related to the project, like requirement specification documents, some technical documents. Okay, so many things are there, and how many team members are there, you have some personal information about the project. So these things they want to keep in a particular location in the company on a particular machine. Yes or no? So now the thing is that when you are going to work on a particular project, actually you make a strategy that I will create a particular folder in my machine, and all the documents related to that project I will keep on one folder. For example, I can show you. For example, the best example is that suppose you want to keep your movies, you want to store some movies in your machine. So what you will do? Tell me. Suppose you have 100 movies with you and you want to save those movies in your machine. So what you are going to do, the first thing, first of all, you will choose a drive, yes or no, D drive, and
yes.
then first of all, you create a folder, movies. Yes or no? Or you simply do one thing, just copy all the movies and paste it directly in the D drive. Or first of all, you choose a folder and give a meaningful name, movies. Yes or no?
Yeah.
And then when you go into the movies folder and then you save all the movies here. So what is the benefit of there? Suppose take the example. In the future, you want to search where I have stored my movies. So you can simply go to D and then movies folder. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In the same way, suppose we know that we are going to use our laptop for different purpose, for our learning, for storing some pictures. So for take the example, you have some personal pics, okay, and you want to store in your machine. So what you do, you simply create a folders. What do you say? Personal pics. So why I'm telling you that every time when you want to store something, or you are working on a particular project, so in your system you create a dedicated folder for that, and all the documents related to that project or that task you keep in same folder. You agree on that, yes or no?
Yes.
So in the same way, now let me compare the things of the Java project. So when you say I'm going to create a Java project, it means you are going to create a project for a particular task. Like you want to work on the automation of, suppose this is a very, very common thing nowadays. A person in a company is working on 2-3 projects. Yes or no? Because client, you can say the company is very, very, you can say intelligent. Okay, this is a single guy, just assign 2-3 project testing. He can testing of Amazon also. He can make a testing of Flipkart also, because we are paying the single salary, and the person can do multiple work. So now you are working on a multi projects. So how you are going to keep your documents for both the projects? You will create 2 folders in your system. Yes or no? Amazon and Flipkart. So that whatever document you will get from the client or your manager, you will keep on the Amazon, and whatever document you will get related to the Flipkart, you will get and paste it in the Flipkart. And any time whenever you are testing the Flipkart, you are going to refer the Flipkart folder. Whenever you're going to the Amazon testing, you are going to refer Amazon. You are agree on that?
Yeah, yes.
So now you will see very interesting thing. People are really very confused that when I'm going to do file new Java project. So actually Java project is nothing. Java project is a folder in which you are going to keep all your files related to your Java automation project. So here you can see, I have created a project 18 complete automation. If I right click on it, and go to the properties part, and there will be the option resource. Are you able to see this option resource?
Yes.
And here you can say, I have created a Java project with the name of 18 batch complete automation. But here you can say indirectly what it has done. It has created a folder at this location. Yes or no? And I can click and go to that location. Go to there. Now here you will see 18 batch complete automation was a project from the Eclipse, but it is simply a folder in my C user THKU Eclipse workspace. Yes or no?
Yes.
And now, so now anytime somebody asks you what is Java project, so simply tell the person that Java project is nothing. We have decided a particular folder in our system, and we are going to keep all the files related to that project. It can be a Java file, it can be Excel file, it can be any document. Maybe you are using any document for your automation purpose. So all the things you are going to keep on a one folder. Okay, so now what is the benefit when you are going to create a project from the Eclipse? Actually, Eclipse provide one extra facility to you. When you have created a one project like 18 batch complete automation, it created a folder for you, and the same time it has provided you 2 inbuilt folder, SRC and bin. Are you able to see this one? Yes or no? We have not asked to create these 2 folders. We have not asked, we have simply asked create new Java project. But it has created a project 18 complete automation folder, and within that folder it has created especially 2 folders, bin and SRC. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
And you will see both the folders are blank. Now the thing is that what is the purpose of these 2 folders? Again, this is also related to the Java project, because Eclipse knows that in the Java project, basically you are going to create the Java classes, and you know that Java classes actually, you can say, goes in the 3 steps of process. What is the 3-step process? You create a Java file, then the code is compiled, and the code is then converted into the, tell me. Okay, let me tell you this thing also. Maybe you are not aware about that. In that case, okay, let me share this one also. Where is my notepad? Okay. Are you able to see notepad?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will tell you what happens whenever you are going to work on a Java project. First of all, your first, you can say, step is to create a Java file. So you create a Java file. When you create a Java file, so what is the extension of Java file? Suppose take the example, I want to create a Java file, student.java.
Java.
So the extension of the file will be Java. So this is the first step. Now the second step, what is when you create a Java file, you are going to write some code here. Yes or no? Write some code. The code can be anything according to a requirement. It can be any test case. It can be a program to read the data from the file, like we will run in the future to read the data from the Excel file. It can be a simple program like adding two numbers. Yes or no?
Adding to, yes.
Yes. So actually, what step we are following? We have just created a Java file. Now we are going to write some code in. So when you write the code, after that, actually what happens? Your code is compiled. What do you mean by compiled? Your code is checked with the JDK library that you have used the proper syntax of Java or not. If it has used the proper syntax of Java, in that case, automatically Eclipse convert this student.java file into .class.
Class.
So what happens that when all the code is good, when all the syntax you have followed, all the rules of the syntax, all the rules of the Java syntax you have followed, then it creates another file that is called student class. And what happens when somebody says that I want to run my Java file? Actually, people do not run the Java file. Which file runs? It runs the .class file.
Class.
It means we write the code in the Java file, but at runtime we need to run .class file. So now the thing is that how it is very, very easily possible in Eclipse. Let me show you. So what happens? This is SRC folder. I have already shown you SRC folder is blank. Yes or no? SRC folder is blank and build folder is blank. So now I'm going to the Eclipse and going to do one thing. Right click on it, new, and this time saying class. I'm taking a name of the class. For the example, student, student. Okay, then I have clicked on this public static void main. So, okay, now we will click on finish. So are you able to see it has created a file student.java? Yes or no?
Yes.
And because I have checked on the public static void main function and every syntax is okay here. So you will see by default student.class is created. You are not able to see here, but if you go and check in the directory, in the SRC you have a student.java, and in the bin you have a student class. Yes or no?
Yes.
So what happens whenever you write some code on the Java part, your code is automatically compiled, and if it is giving any syntax error, you will be able to see on your Eclipse editor. I will show you something like that. For example, I have done a mistake. I'm going to write some code here. SYSTEM system dot out dot print, and I just take the example. I'm printing here something Lord, and I forget to this semicolon. So are you getting an error here? Are you able to see this red color?
Yes.
So now check one thing here. It is giving the error. So it is actually why it is giving the error. So there is a feature in the Eclipse that is called auto compile. So whenever you are writing the code, same time behind the scene, Eclipse try to compile your code, and if your code is good, then it converts the .class file into the Java file into the .class file. And if there is any error, it will show you the error. Now here you will see one interesting thing. I have made it semicolon. Okay, and now I'm going to save it and just check it here. What is the time of student.class? 10:18. It is showing 10:18. Yes or no? It is showing 10:18. Yes or no? Time is?
Yes.
And you will see I have made some changes. I have just resolved the error. So I have made some changes, like take the example Jay, Lord, Ganesha, anything you want to write it here. And when I will save it, just see the time of .class will be changed. Now it is showing 1020, yes or no? Now it is showing 1020.
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
why it is showing 1020? It means what happens? I am not doing any compilation part, but whenever I'm writing some code on the Eclipse editor in my Java file, behind the scene compiler works and it keep compiling my code. If there is an error, he will interrupt me and show you error in the form of red color. And if all the syntax is good, then it is going to update my dot class file. And you have seen this. Suppose take the example. Again, I'm going to write some more code. Okay, suppose take the example, Lord Shiva. I have added one more code. You can say I have not saved it. Just go and check. It is showing 1020. I have modified the code. I have made some changes in my code and now save it. So again, there is no syntax. That's why it is showing no error. So when I save it, it will compile the code and you will see it is modified behind the scene. 1021. Yes or no? So you got this point that what is the first help Eclipse is going for us? You only need to focus on the coding part. And if there is syntax, it is going to help you to identify the error so that you can resolve it easily. And second thing is that if your code is error-free, you are following all the syntax, there is no error in your code, then it will automatically compile the code and student.class will be created. This is okay?
Sir, Rabia here. Sir, can you please repeat it one minute?
Yeah, I'm saying that what happens, Rabia, whenever you are going to write some code, you will see if you are going to write some code and you are using, if you are doing some error that is not according to the syntax of Java. So it will show you the error. So it is the big help of the Eclipse. For example, you will see, I can do one thing. Suppose I have removed one S here. Suppose take the example, it is a typo error. So are you able to see? It is showing you error. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And it is showing you the not only showing the error, it is also telling you the solution. Syntax error on token CLASS expected. So this thing is provided by the Eclipse, and this feature is known as intelligency. So there is an intelligency feature in the Eclipse which is going to give you the help whenever you are going to any mistake. It is going to give you the error as well as suggestion. And when you complete, when you remove all the errors like this one, your code is error free. So automatically the behind the scene respective dot class will be updated. Getting my point? Rabia, this is clear or you have still any doubts?
Fine.
Okay. Now, second thing is that I told you that whenever you want to run your Java code, actually you do not run the student.java file. You need to run the student.class. So now another thing, what Eclipse is going to do for you? Eclipse says that I'm not showing you the .class file here. Simply right click on your Java file and say run as Java application. So actually what happens? You right click on your Java file and run this command, is run Java application. But behind the scene, what happens? It calls the student.class file. So that's why inbuilt Eclipse has created a dedicated folder. Whenever you are creating a Java file in the SRC, in the respective bin folder, it is going to create the .class file. So whenever you run the Java file from the editor, it runs the respective class file. I can give you another example. Let me take the example, new class. This time I'm going to create a EMPLOYEE. And then I'm going to write, click on public static void, finish. Here I'm going to write a simple code. And also one more benefit of Eclipse is that I told you it use the intelligence feature. So one of the intelligence feature is that it also use some shortcut keys so that you can make your life easy in terms of writing the code. So if you want to write this code, system.out.println, so you can use one shortcut, right? In simple SYSO and control space. It has completed the code, yes or no?
Yes.
So many things or so many features are available in the Eclipse that makes your coding easy. That's why we use Eclipse for the coding. And now the one question comes into the mind that is asked in the interview also, what is Eclipse? So people usually say that Eclipse is, anybody know what is Eclipse? It is called IDE. It is called
IDE.
Yes, it is called IDE. Eclipse is known as IDE. And what is the full form of IDE? Integrated Development Environment. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So
Okay.
actually, yeah. Anybody want to ask anything? Okay. So what is the meaning of IDE? IDE means Integrated Development Environment. So actually now one more thing can be asked in the interview, that Eclipse is not available in your machine. So you cannot write a code, you cannot compile the code, you cannot run the code. Yes, we can run the code, we can compile the code. But the thing is that we have to do it on a notepad. We have to do in a notepad
Notepad.
file. And our life will be very, very tough. Reason is that we are going to write a code, then we have to compile the code by ourselves, then we have to run the .class file. So everything we have to do our own. But here Eclipse made everything very systematic. First of all, it provided in terms of Java project, it provided a dedicated folder, 18 batch complete automation. Within complete automation folder, it automatically created 2 folders for you. One is called SRC, one is bin. And what is the use of SRC? SRC means your source code, which is you are creating Java file, and bin is known as binary file. So Eclipse already, you can say, work on that you just focus on the creating of Java file. I will do the .class file. You don't need to compile it yourself. Getting my point? Anybody have any doubt?
No.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
No,
Now this is the, you can say, main thing or little bit idea what is Java project. So now today onwards, don't confuse that Java project is something very, very complex thing. No, Java, in simple words, Java project is a dedicated folder on your machine and all the files related to this project. Again, I'm saying that not only Java, maybe in automation, you are using Excel file to pull some data, you are using XML file. So all the files related to your project, you are going to keep under this folder, and this is known as Java. Okay, so now after that, we are going to learn the first thing in Java, that is called class. So let me first of all, one thing. Let me delete these 2 files. And I'm going to create again one file. SRC, this one. Then, okay, let me tell
Class.
you one more. Yeah, before that, let me tell you one interesting thing also, package. Okay, that is also very good thing. And I think we should cover it before the class. That is more good. Anybody know what do you mean by package? Anybody have any idea? Java use very, very heavy words, but trust me, behind the scene, they are very, very easy concept. So you understand the Java project. Now, what is the package? Anybody have any idea? No? Okay, so I will give you very, very good thing. Now tell me one thing, very interesting thing. Behind the scene, you have seen in your project, by default, it creates 2 folders, SRC and bin. Yes or no?
yes.
Now tell me one thing. If I have to create 100 Java files in my project, so every file will save in SRC. Yes or no? If I'm going to create 100 files, Java file in my project, so every file will be stored in SRC by default, and their respective 100 files will be stored in the bin one. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So now here you can do one thing. Before understanding that thing, let me ask you a very, very practical question. Again, just go back to the, you can say, your movies part. I have created this movies folder. So this is just like my project. Is it okay? Now tell me, I have 1000 movies I want to store here. And these movies contain some Hollywood movies, some Bollywood movies, some action movies, some horror movies. So how you want to store it here? You simply want to copy all the movies in this folder, or you want to create some hierarchy? Tell me. That makes your life easy in terms of maintenance. Tell me.
Will
So,
create.
Yes. So can I say this? Instead of copying all the 1000 movies in the movies folder, I will make a strategy. I will first of all create 2 folders, Hollywood. Yes or no? And then I will create another folder like Bollywood. I will tell you the reason. The reason is that maybe with the help of these two folders, you have divided your 1,000 movies in two parts. Your Hollywood movies related movies will go into the Hollywood folder, and Bollywood related movies will go to the Bollywood folder. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now this is very common thing which you have seen in your college time when our internals are going to be completed and we are thinking, oh, today is our last internal exam. So now we will enjoy the movies. So at that time, what is the easy thing for you? You just go to your system and say that, oh, this is movies folder, and within movies, we have a Bollywood for the Hollywood. So according to choice, I don't need to search 1,000 movies. I can particularly go to the particular folder according to my choice. And you can make it more specific. How? You can go to the Bollywood and create two folders. Horror, yes or no?
Yeah.
And you
Yes.
can create another folder like action.
Yes.
And you can, if you want to make it more easy, more segregate, you can say romantic. So now tell me, under Bollywood, now you have 1,000 movies. Maybe you have 500. I'm taking a standard example. Out of 1,000 movies, you have 500 movies related to the Bollywood and 500 movies related to the Hollywood. So you have made your things very systematic. 500 movies will go under this folder. 500 movies will go under Hollywood folder. Now within this folder, you again use the hierarchy. Within Bollywood folder, now you have 500 movies. I am taking the example of a standard. Suppose you have 100 movies like action, 100 movies you have horror, and the remaining 300 movies are romantic. So you have stored 100 movies in action, 100 horror, and 100 romantic. Now, same hierarchy you can follow in the, tell me where? Hollywood. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now tell me one thing. Now tell me one thing. You want to search a movie in your last internal exam. After your last internal exam, you are interested to see a movie of Shah Rukh Khan. And you know that I want to see a particular movie of Shah Rukh Khan, and that is related to the action. Tell me, you are going to search 1,000 movies, or you will directly go where? Tell me.
Folder, subfolder which we have created.
Yes. So what happens here? Why we create the subfolders? Because subfolders creates our, you can say, management very easy. Now I can give you the another example, very good example of the real life. So same example you have to give to your interviewer when you are going to give the interview. Trust me, nowadays nobody is interested to see packages, something like this. No, they want to understand that what is your understanding about the concept. If you do not know about the concept of Java project, you do not know about the package, what is the actual package, what is actual class, what is object, trust me, they are not going to hire you, because they know that everybody can write a code, public static void main, hello world, but they do not know why they are writing the code, what is the purpose of public static void main, how you can make a good framework. You agree on that, yes or no?
Yes.
You can write a code, public static void main, you print system hello world, and you thought, I learned the Java. No, everybody can write the code. It is very easy. But when you are going to create a framework, your concept like Java, like project, like package, like class, object, static, so many things are going to help you. And you can use it perfectly. You can use it wisely when you are clear on the concept. Okay, so now anybody asks you the package example, I am going to give you another good example from your real life. Tell me one thing. Library is a good example of packages, yes or no? In your, just think about that. In your college, there is a single room and all the books, like you can say English, Hindi, literature, poetry, comic, novels, everything is just stored in a single room. Is it easy to find a particular book from that? You want to find a particular book of a Shakespeare. You can find it easily. On instead of that, you have seen that library is also divided into the small subsection, like this is complete library. Then it is a literature section. It is a poetry section. It is for English. It is for Hindi. It is for novels. It is for kids. Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
why we create a structure of library? Why we don't keep all the books in a single room and say, just go and search it? Because means whenever we create a hierarchy of sub-hierarchy, we try to make our things very systematic. Like you can easily find the movies in your folder. In the real life, you can find any movies, any particular book in your library. You simply go to your, you can say simply go to your librarian and say that I need a book of Shakespeare. and that is related to the poetry, he simply go to that particular section, just open the door and give it to you. If he is going to search the whole thing in the whole room, in the whole library without any systematic structure, it will take so much time, and it can be a very, very tedious task. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So in the
Yes.
same way, we are going to learn a concept in Java that is called package. And trust me, package is nothing. I will show you very interesting thing. When I am going to write, just see, when I am clicking on SRC and writing new class, simply class, just see, I'm writing a class name here, student. When I'm trying to write some name of the class, are you able to see this message? What it is saying? Anybody can read this message for me? Anybody can read this message for me?
The use of the default package is discouraged.
Yes. So why it is saying that default package is discrete? Default package means it is assuming that you are keeping all the files in single default folder, and that is SRC. So it is saying that whenever you are going to create any class, please try to make it in a particular subfolders, and that hierarchy of subfolder is known as package. Getting my point? The hierarchy of subfolders is known as package. I will show you very interesting thing. Now again, right click on SRC, new, and click on package. So I'm creating it for just understanding for your, you can say, telling about the concept of this package. I'm just taking the example of movies. You can say movies dot, in Java, how we create the subfolders from the Eclipse. Dot is a symbol of subfolder. Movies dot Hollywood. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
So let me click on finish and you will see. Now go and check your folder structure. Are you able to see in SRC? There is a movies folder, and within movies you have a Hollywood. Yes or no?
Yes.
And you will see what is the benefit of Eclipse. Whatever file you are going to save in the respective SRC package, same hierarchy it is created by the Eclipse in bin1. Same folders are there. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now you will see, I have created this package. Package means just created a structure. I want to make it more specific, more specific, in the more depth. So I will do one thing. I can do one thing, SRC, new, and package. You will say I'm going to write movies. You will say it will give error because movies is already a folder there. Yes or no?
Yes.
अब मैंने आपसे बोला, I've told you this thing. See, package is nothing. Package is just like a hierarchy of subfolders in your project. So to keep your file in a systematic way. So I'm going to write HOLLY, Hollywood. Again, it is giving the error. Now I will say dot horror. So I will create this thing. Now you will go and check your folder. What will happen? It should create a folder in the within SRC. It should create a structure movies, then within movies Hollywood, and within Hollywood it should create a horror. Yes or no?
Yes.
And I'm going to create another structure, movies dot Hollywood and dot action. So you will see it has created. So in the same way, you want to check something, first of all check it, then I will come back here. SRC, movies contains Hollywood. Yes or no? Hollywood contains action and horror, two packages. Yes or no?
Yes.
And in the same way, you can create multiple hierarchy. So from the movies, we have a one branch that is called Hollywood, and Hollywood contains action and horror. Same thing we can do for the some other hierarchy. So I can say movies, that I cannot take alone, but I can say Bollywood.
Bollywood.
So actually here I'm only want to tell you this thing, that you can create a proper hierarchy of folder. Then you decide, okay, this file I'm going to keep this folder, maybe on in terms of what is the reason to keep the files in a particular sub packages or you can say folder. Logically, it should be related to that. For example, tell me one thing. Suppose you want to create 3 Java files, and in three Java files, you want to, in first Java file, you want to store the test cases related to one module. Okay, and in the second Java file, you want to store the test case related to the second module. In the same way, in the third Java file, you want to store test cases related to the third module. Okay, so for every module, currently you have one Java file. So if you are going to store all these files in one package, it will be a problem. Instead that you can do one thing. You can create 3 packages, module 1, module 2, and module 3. Yes or no? In module 1, under module 1, you are going to store the Java file 1. In the module 2, you are going to store the Java file 2. In the module 3, you are going to store Java file 3. Now, after some time, you have to add one more Java file for module 1. So where you are going to create that Java file? Under which folder? Module 1. Yes or no?
Yes.
So actually, again, same. That's why I always try to repeat same thing again and again so that it should be stuck in your mind. Okay, movies, do Bollywood. Now I want to make a systematic action. It will create a Bollywood action. Now again, want to create this thing. Package, movies, dot, Bollywood. Bollywood's already with me. Bollywood, dot, and I will say horror. So again, people really confuse that package is what is package, what is package. Now you will see package is nothing. Package is just like a hierarchy of subfolders so that in the future, you can decide in which subfolder hierarchy you want to create your Java file. You can see automatically same hierarchy is followed by the bin folder. Now see SRC, movies, Hollywood, Bollywood, within Bollywood, action horror. Now go and check the bin folder. Bin, movies, Hollywood, Bollywood. Yes. And now see the benefit. If I want to create, suppose take the example. I'm taking the example from the movies and you can relate with your test case. Suppose I want to create a test case related to the Shah Rukh Khan action. Shah Rukh Khan action related. And that is, take the example, suppose you can take the example of any action movie. Anybody have any idea? Any action movie of Shah Rukh Khan? Dawn. Is it okay? Who is going to tell me where should I keep the don.java file? Where?
Sir, are you showing bin structure as well? Because I am not able to see it.
No, I'm just showing the Eclipse. You are not able to see the Eclipse currently?
I can see Eclipse, but as you say, we have to relate SRC with the bin file. So I thought that you are sharing other
No. So no. Are you not able to see this one? Bollywood, this one you are not.
So this is visible. This is visible.
This is the action horror.
Yeah, everything is visible. Eclipse is visible.
Okay. So I was just telling that package is nothing. Package, you can say from the Java perspective, it is a package, but indirectly it is a substructure of folders. Okay. Now I want to create take the example. I want to create a file like. I'm just taking the example of, you can say movies, that why you can easily understand. When I will go to the proper, you can test testing part, I will show you the real test case name. Okay. So here I'm taking the example of Bollywood action. I will say new class and I will say Dawn. Is it okay?
Yes.
What I have done, I have directly selected a package movies, Bollywood action and created a Dawn. Now it will create a Dawn.java within which package? Movies, Bollywood action.
Yes.
And you will see, because you are using the package concept, automatically the Dawn.class will be created where? Same structure under bin. Want to see and go. So this is the benefit of using the Eclipse, that it follows by default structure. You can say movies, Bollywood, action. Are you able to see this one?
Yes.
So you got this concept of package. What is package? Package is nothing. Package is just like a proper hierarchy of subfolders so that you can keep your files according to some logical distribution. Whatever. For example, library, I have told you in library, what is the logical distribution? Your Hindi department should be separate. English department should be separate. Your poetry department should be separate. And your literature should be different. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, does anybody have any question? If you have any question at any point
Yes,
of
sir.
time, yeah, you can ask me.
Sir, actually, what is the difference between this package and classes, sir?
Package and classes.
Yes, sir. Before that, you created a classes in Java, right? In class, but now you created packages. I did not understand.
Okay, the package is, I told you what happens that basically you have seen that by default when I created a project, after that you got one folder SRC, right? And
Yes,
when
sir.
I was right click and want to create some class. So actually what happens whenever I want to create any class and there is only SRC folder and I will create any class. For example, take the example of suppose employee. So you will see where this employee.java file will be saved directly in the SRC folder. Yes or no? Class
sir.
will be created. Class will be created. But where this file will go to save? Directly under the SRC folder. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So every time when you are going to create a new file, your Java file will be saved under the SRC folder. So now you will see in your Eclipse, that's why it is giving a alert. It is not an error. It is an alert that the use of default packages. Default package means use of default SRC packages discouraged. It is saying that you should not use. It is not recommended. And what is the recommended? That whenever you are creating any Java file, you should first of all create a proper package for that. Package means you should first of all create a proper hierarchy of folders. So folders you have just created, that is called package. Class is something different. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now once you have created, so that's why I have canceled it. I don't want to create my class in the default package. So whenever you want to create a class, first of all, choose your package. So for example, I want to choose a package horror. Right click, new, and class. This time what will happen? By default, are you able to see this package is here? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So package means only the thing is that Java file you have to create. But before creating the Java file, you have decided a particular location in your project. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So now how you can create a class file? Yeah, tell me.
One question, sir. We have created 4 packages here, right?
Right.
So the symbol for first package is colored one.
Yeah, because the reason is that whenever your package is empty, it will be blank. And when you have add any file there, it will become brown. You will see movies, Bollywood horror is still showing the white one. Now I'm going to add a class. How we can add the class? Right click on your package. Let me show you again so that everybody can see it. Right click on your package where you want to create your file, new class.
New class.
And class does give the name of your class. And this time I will suggest you don't check this checkbox public static void main. This is the very, very wrong approach when you learn Java yourself. Reason is that anybody know what is the use of public static void main? If you are a little bit aware about the Java, you can tell me. What is the use of public static void main? Anybody know?
Create a main function from where like we can print or something. It kind of create a main function.
Yes. So actually the purpose of main function is it is something like an entry point of your program. Are you getting my point? It is an entry point of your program when you want to run your program. Actually, from which line number it will start execution. So it is decided by the public static void.
Okay.
Java decided, okay, whatever code you have written in your class, whatever code, but I will start my execution from main function.
Main function.
Now tell me, so it is simply like that in the real life, you can consider that main function is something like an entry point of your house. आपके घर में जाने का रास्ता एक होना चाहिए, yes or no?
Yes.
You want to access your bedroom, you want to access your kitchen, you want to access your temple. There should be entry point in your house, yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
So this is going to work as an entry point. Now, why I'm saying that most of the time people do a wrong thing while learning the Java themselves. What they do, they simply do student and click on public static void. Getting my point? And why it is a wrong approach, I will tell you. Tell me one thing. Every time you are going to create in your project, you are going to create 100 files. Your project is same. You are going to create 100 Java files. So every file should contain a main method. Tell me, this is good or bad? You can tell me according to your experience. Tell me yes or no?
Bad, sir, bad.
आपके घर में what is happening? Now tell me, don't take the example that you have a big bungalow, but in big bungalow also, take the example, you have a big bungalow and that is open from 4-sided. So you have 4 gates, but you specify a particular main gate. Yes or no?
Yes.
क्यों बताते हैं ऐसा? चलो, you are very rich. You have so many, you can say big bungalow. But the thing is that why you say that this is 8 gate. You can take the example of schools also. In a school, they specify this is gate A, this is gate B, this is C, and they say A is the main gate. What is the purpose of telling you that A is the main gate? Means 99% you have to enter from the main gate. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So in Java, public static void main is just like an entry point when you ask your project, or Java file to run, it searches this main function. So I will describe this thing in the detail after, you can say, 2 or 3 sessions when you understand about the concept of what is public static void. So for today, I'm just telling you what is the concept of class. People usually just give the name of the class and click on static and they say, we have learned this is class. No, in the real life, class is the base unit to create a software. And in the interview nowadays, actually developers sit in front of you. So they expect something good. Now competition is very, very good. They are not expecting you have said a new class. I've just given a name. What is class? And you are saying, sir, class is nothing. I just right click on and say Nava class. I just give that. No, that is not the actual concept. That you are creating a class. What is actual class? That is again undefined value. So I'm telling you, just give the name of the class and click on finish. Don't checkbox this. So what thing you have seen here? It has created a structure public, class, and student. Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you able to see? So now, first of all, the question comes into the mind. Just forget about public. Only think about class. What is class? So today, the topic which we are going to discuss in Java, which is very important, that is class. So class is again, don't go in the technical part. First of all, think about that, because Java is very, very easy language. Everything is related to the real world. When you understand the real world, your Java learning will be easy. Now tell me, have you heard this word class in your real life anywhere? कहीं पे सुना आपने class word को? एक जगह तो सुना होगा. You usually say he is middle class, I'm upper class, he is very higher class. Yes or no?
Yes.
And you have heard this class also. He belongs to the class 7 in our academic time. He is class 7th, I'm class 9th, he is class 12th, he is class. Yes or no? So actually class is nothing. Class is, in the single term I can define you. Class is actually a group. Yes or no? Class को आप क्या बोलोगे? Class is just like a group. आप group ही तो बनाते हो. You have decided a group that if this is a group of people which have or you can say which are going to spend a lavish life. Their income is, you can say, 1 crore per month. They are using the BMW car. So you making a group of such peoples and say that they are high. They are from higher class. Then you decide, okay, we are doing a government job. We are doing a very, very little simple private job. We are earning. We have a small house. We are from middle class. So you are creating a group. Yes or no? So class is something. Now, how you can take the example of class 7? How you tell why class 7th is very, very standard thing? When you suppose take the example, currently you are working a job in Bangalore and your kid is, you can say, studying in class 7. And due to some reason, you have got good opportunity and you just transfer to the some other city. Like you transfer to the Delhi, you transfer to the some different state, Chennai. But in that case, what happened? You still say that I want to take admission for my child into the class 7. Why you say this? Why you use the same term, class 6 and class 7? Tell me, anybody know? Anybody know? Try. You should try. Try to make this session very interesting. Otherwise, you can see. Trust me, you don't need to pay any money in this session. Everything is available in the YouTube. You can go one-way communication there, and you will get it there. You want to utilize this session. Try to debate. You will learn so many things. Getting my point? So, are you getting my point? Anybody want to describe why we say class 6 and class 7? Because these are standards. These are standards. You can say not exactly, I can say, but 90% what happens, the student which is learning as class 7th in one state or one city of India, approximately the same syllabus will be in other state and country. In other state and city. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So it means, you can take the example why we say that my kids is you can say studying in lower nursery or KG. We simply understand that if the kid is learning in the lower nursery or nursery, definitely the syllabus will be only alphabets, countings. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So actually, again, the thing is, class is nothing. Class is a term which is taken from the real world, and that is called group. The meaning of that is group. Now the thing is that how we make a group of peoples, how we make a group, and what is group? So for that purpose, first of all, you have to understand the definition of class, and you will see what is the definition of class. Everybody can tell me if you have gone through with the internet. Class is let me write it. We simply learn this definition, and it is very, very common. class is a collection. बताओ. Class is a collection of objects having similar. सबने पढ़ी होगी और हम क्या करते हैं, we usually go to the interview और यही definition वहां बोल देते हैं. So now he understand. He will ask you, can you tell me what is class? You will say, sir, yes, I can tell you. Class is a collection of objects having similar properties. And you stop yourself. He will understand. Oh, this definition everybody is telling me. So how you are different? Tell me what you are understanding at the time of creating the class. What things come in your mind? You simply open the Eclipse and say right click Java class and simply, or you think something different from it. Now tell me, anybody can explain? Class is a collection of objects having similar property. Now two things are coming in this definition. What is, collection is what? Collection is some gathering. Object, you don't know. Properties, maybe you know. Now the question is that what is object? So first thing come into the mind, what is object? Anybody know what is object in this real world?
It's a physical entity which has its own behavior, status and behavior.
Yes. So now in simple words, I tell you, object is nothing in this world. Everything is an object. Every living thing, every non-living thing, your pen is object, your pencil is object, human is object, animal is object. Everything in this world is a object. And I can give you a good example. Maybe we and you are, you can see, using different terms to call each other. But first of all, we are object. I can give it a very good example. Anybody have seen the movie Munna Bhai MBBS? Anybody have seen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And if you remind, in that movie, the whole movie was based on a patient. And that patient, whenever that patient was referred by the dean of that college, the role played by Bomain Irani, who he always use a term. He don't use the term that name or something like. He always use the term subject is not working, object is not working. Yes or no? अगर आपने ध्यान दिया हो, पूरी पिक्चर में, पूरी in the whole movie, he considered that it is a subject, it is an object, because for him, human being is also an object, and few properties are not working. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Got it.
So everything in this world is an object. Everything, but only the thing is that how objects are different from each other because they have different properties. For example, I'm a human being, so I have a property. What is the property? I have a human being. I have a life, I have a color, I have a growth, I have a age, I have a body parts, I have a sense. So many properties are there. Yes or no? And what are the properties when you are going to create a group of, you create a group and class of non-living things. How you say non-living things? No life, no growth. Yes or no?
Yes.
So actually, again, focus this thing and trust me, your life will be easy. In this world, everything is a object. You try to create the object of some, you try to create a group of some object on the basis of similar properties, and properties is known as characteristics. Property is known as characteristic. आप ऑब्जेक्ट जो इस वर्ड में सारे ऑब्जेक्ट बने हैं, ओके, सारे वर्ड जो ऑब्जेक्ट बने उनमें से आप ऑब्जेक्ट का ग्रुप बना लेते हो, और ग्रुपिंग कैसे बनाते हो? ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सम कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सम प्रॉपर्टी. आप बोलते हो अगर इसमें ये प्रॉपर्टी होगी तो मेरे ग्रुप में आएगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई कैन टेक द एग्जाम्पल, आई एम लिविंग इन अ सोसाइटी दैट इज अजनारा ली गार्डन. That is also known as group housing society. You know that? That is known as group housing society. Somebody is living on some other society like Balina. So why they have created a group? So it means there is one property is common. One property is, you can say, different in both the things. Everybody is human being, but the reason is that they are living in the name of the society. For first person is Aznara Lee Garden, and for another person, the location of living is Balina. Yes or no? So in this way, you keep creating the groups. In the same way, you can say we have created a group of on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste. So you have created a group, like you have said that, okay, these peoples comes under this category. Getting my point? Yes or no? Anybody have any doubt?
Yes.
What is object and what is property is? Okay, so now what happens in the real world when some developers is going to create a class, actually he decides two things in the class. This is simply a structure of a class. This is simply a structure of a class. Okay, now two things actually decide the complete structure of a class, that which group it is going to present in the real life. The first one is known as properties. किसी क्लास में क्या होती है पहले? Properties. And second thing is known as functions. एक क्लास में, for your confidence, I want to tell you, in your whole life in the Java, you don't need to learn any new concept. Every time your whole life, you are going to learn your properties and functions. Everything apart from it, if you are getting from the, you can say internet or something like that, it is static, it is public, it is void. They are some, you can say, attributes, some conditions, some syntax that is applied on your properties and function. Actually, you have to learn especially two things. What is properties and functions? Getting my point? तो एक क्लास को, एक ग्रुप को बनाने में किसका रोल होता है? सबसे पहले प्रॉपर्टीज। अब मुझे आपसे बताओ, आई वांट टू क्रिएट अ ग्रुप ऑफ स्टूडेंट। इस पूरे वर्ल्ड में मैं चाहता हूं कि जो भी स्टूडेंट है उनका एक ग्रुप बना दो। सो व्हाट टाइप ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी आई शुड कंसीडर? कैन आई से स्टूडेंट रोल नंबर? यस और नो?
Yes.
जितने भी स्टूडेंट होंगे उनका एक रोल नंबर तो होना चाहिए। यस और नो?
Yes.
So now tell me, if I'm going to create another structure of something, let me take the example of another class employee. So you will understand how developers create the class and how you can give specifying the internet. Now, if I take the example of one group is a student, one is employee. So in case of a student, who will come here? Which contains a property roll number. And in case of employee, it will be
Employee ID.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. It means I'm on the right track and you are also on the right track. So now, in case of student, now you have segregated. A person who has a roll number, he will come under the group of a student. A person who has employee, he will come under the group of employee. Second property, anybody want to suggest? Student name. Yes or no?
Yes.
And in case of employee, employee name. Okay. In case of student, it can be student standard or class. Yes or no?
Yes.
So I can say student standard. Now in case of employee, property can be employee
designation.
Designation. Very good. DSIGNAT. Designation. Employee department. Yes or no? So actually what happens whenever you want to create a class, this class is, you are trying to create a group of students and you are telling that this group contains all the objects from the real world which have these properties. इस real world में जिनके पास ये से property है वो सब मेरे group में क्या हो जाएंगे? They will be the part of my student group. Getting my point?
Yes.
और हम क्या करते हैं Java at the time of learning, हम simply क्या learn कर लेते हैं? We decided A ले लिया, एक B ले लिया. Okay, when you learn the concept properly from the Java, आप A B कुछ भी ले लो. But for the learning purpose, you should understand what is the main purpose to define the properties. So property should be meaningful. Yes or no?
Yes.
मैं roll number की जगह property ये भी लिख सकता था. मैं भी कर सकता था A. तो A, I am saying that I am considering A as a roll number. But you can tell me easily that for a third person, he can understand A is presenting a roll number? No.
No.
But I'm giving a meaningful name, student roll number. So I'm doing the same thing. So every time property name should be meaningful. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So whenever you are, again, now think about that. Again, come to the definition. Class is a collection of objects, similar properties. Simple up now what you can say, class एक ऐसा collection object का जिनमें property same होती है. आप बोलोगे, now here the student class is, what is the definition of student class? Student class is a collection of all objects having student roll number, student name, and student standard properties. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Chali. Here I can take the example of student school also. That is one SCHOO. Getting my point? So in the same way, we can take so many properties. As we are defining the more properties, we are trying to make our group more specific. Yes or no? है ना? अब अपने ग्रुप फॉर्म, जितना ग्रुप में प्रॉपर्टी ज्यादा होंगी, आप बताओ ना जितने करेक्टर. अब मैंने बोला टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ 2 ह्यूमन बीइंग. आई एम आल्सो ह्यूमन बीइंग, सम अदर पर्सन इज आल्सो ह्यूमन बीइंग. हमने एक डिवीजन क्या किया, प्रॉपर्टी से सेग्रीगेट कर दिया उनको भी दो ग्रुप में. हाउ? मेल एंड फीमेल. Yes or no?
Yes.
अब हमने मेल को भी दो पार्ट में डिवाइड कर दिया. इफ वी आर कंसीडरिंग अ प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ कलर, हमने बोला गोरे लोग अलग, काले लोग अलग. So whenever you are defining the more property, you are trying to make your group more specific. So that is the thing of class. Now this is clear. Class क्या है? Class एक group है. Group object का collection होता है और उस collection में वही चीजें आती हैं. That is going to be similar properties. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
अब यहाँ पे I have a student school name property or school name. When I'm saying that this is a group, it can be a group of any student. It can be from any school. Yes or no? है ना? ये तो किसी भी स्कूल का हो सकता है. Yes or no?
Yes.
अगर if you want to make it very specific, अगर आप student property की value set कर दो, fix something like that, BPS public school. Now you have created a group of students, but that are related to a particular school. Yes or no?
Yes.
ऐसे
Yes, sir.
ऐसे डिजाइन होती है क्लास. इसको बोलते हैं क्लास. हम लोग रट लेते हैं क्लास इज अ कलेक्शन ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट हैविंग सिमिलर प्रॉपर्टीज. दिस इज द रीजन. नाउ यू कैन स्पेसिफाई कि क्लास हम यूज कर लेते हैं बिकॉज 99% इन टेस्टिंग वी डोंट नीड टू गो सो मच डिटेल इन द यू कैन से कॉन्सेप्ट. लेकिन आज के टाइम में इंटरव्यू में ट्रस्ट मी, मैं आपको फैक्ट बता रहा हूं. दैट इज द फैक्ट. इन द होल सेशन आई विल टेल यू अबाउट द इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन एंड व्हाट इज द एक्सपेक्टेशन. आपको बता दूं, व्हाटएवर यू आर लर्निंग, 50% चीजें तो आप जिंदगी में कभी यूज ही नहीं करोगे. एंड दैट इज द फैक्ट. आप अपने यू कैन थिंक योरसेल्फ कि क्या आपने जितनी चीजें इंटरव्यू में पूछी गई क्या वो सारी यूज होती हैं रियल लाइफ में? नहीं. दैट इज द फैक्ट. एग्री ऑन दैट? लेकिन दैट इज द क्राइटेरिया टू क्रैक द इंटरव्यू. यस और नो? अब वो कैसे डिसाइड करेंगे कि मुझे कैसे डिसाइड करेंगे कि मुझे राबिया को लेना है और प्रदीप को नहीं लेना है? Rabia is giving the good explanation of the class. She is understanding everything, and Pradeep is saying class is a collection of objects. He is very common. He only you can say just learn the definition from the internet. Nowadays, what is अगर मैं किसी से पूछूं what is noun, सब बोल देंगे noun is a person, place or thing. That is done. Now once person is saying noun is a name of a person, place or thing. Like Taj Mahal is a noun. Like name of Ram is a noun. So when you explain this thing, the person understand, oh, the person only do not know the definition. He also explain the things, means he understand. So now he can easily understand the grammar where he has to use the, where he has to use the a. That is the fact. है ना? आपको कब किसी नेम के आगे द लगाना है, किस नेम के आगे ए लगाना है, कब एन लगाना है, अगर आपको क्लियर नहीं होगा तो can you tell me this thing? Yes or no?
Yes.
And that is called the grammar. And you are learning a programming language, that is Java. So you have to understand each and everything. If from the base you have missed a thing, trust me, then it will be very, very tough to understand what is public static. Anymore. So let me come back to the topic. Class is a collection of objects having similar properties. Now we have decided a class, a student, and I've defined that these will be the properties. These will be the properties, and which is going to decide which is going to decide a boundary of my group. That all the students which have student roll number, name and school name, I will consider them the part of my student. Anybody have any question? Then I will move to the next. Anybody?
No, sir.
चलिए. So now next topic is known as data type. अब आता है data type. Data type. Everybody will see. Anybody know data type? मेरे इंटरेक्शन में try to be interactive. है ना? इंटरेक्ट देखो मैंने फिर से बोला दैट इज द फैक्ट. ट्रस्ट मी, मेरे लिए पढ़ाना ना एक पैशन है. मैं आपको बताऊं, यू कैन फील इट. आपको अगर फील हो रहा होगा कि मेरे लिए पढ़ाना बहुत पैशन है. आई एम रियली मिसिंग माई ऑफलाइन सेशंस. ठीक है, मैं आई रेगुलर गो टू टेक ऑफलाइन सेशन. ड्यू टू कोविड आई एम नॉट टेकिंग, लेकिन आई एम रियली मिसिंग बिकॉज यू कैन से प्रोवाइडिंग द ट्रेनिंग इज जस्ट नॉट लाइक ए प्रोफेशन फॉर मी. इट इज जस्ट लाइक ए पैशन. आपको नहीं समझ में आएगा ना तो मुझे मजा नहीं आता. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? एंड यू अंडरस्टैंड द थिंग्स clearly, you reply me and it motivates me. चलो मैं आपको और क्या बता दूं और कितने अच्छे तरीके से बता. Okay, so maybe you are doing something wrong. हम यहाँ पे we are on the same plane. I'm still learning the Java. It doesn't mean I'm expertise on that. So I'm going to learn something from you. You are going to learn something from me. So आपको कुछ भी गलत आता है बताओ ना. We are on the same page. क्या होगा? ठीक है? Anybody have any idea what is data type?
We have segregated like integer or something. Integer.
Int, boolean, char.
Boolean.
Yes, clapping for you. Excellent. Actually, you are trying to say, so that is a good thing. Something will come out from your mind, then I will tell something. तो उससे क्या फायदा होगा? We will make a common combined discussion and something healthy will come out of the session. चलिए मैं बताता हूँ, डेटा टाइप को बताता हूँ, डेटा टाइप का मतलब क्या होता है सबसे पहले बताऊँ. Now tell me one thing. You have defined a property student roll number. You have defined a property student name. You have defined a property school name. Now tell me one thing. You have decided the name of the property, but property is something like that, a container. You are going to store some value in your property. आप roll number में कुछ रखोगे ना, equal to suppose take the example 5, 6, 7, 8, कुछ रखोगे?
Yes.
So now tell me one thing. In some property you want to put some numeric value. In some places you want to put some alphanumeric value. You want to give some name, something like that. In some, I can give the example of one more thing. Let me take the example of suppose age. So in age you want to put some data, and your data can be 7.5. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now the thing is that whenever you decide a class, you define some properties. Now in the future, when you are going to save some data in your properties, how you will decide that which type of data you can store on this particular property. अब मैं कैसे बताऊंगा कि वैसे स्टूडेंट रोल नंबर में मुझे क्या करे, केवल न्यूमेरिक रखना अलाउ करे, अल्फा न्यूमेरिक अलाउ ना करे. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So that is decided by a concept that is called data type.
Data type. Yes.
Now you want to say student roll number mein I only want to put the numeric values. So there is a data type just before the name of the property you define, int.
Yeah.
तो यहाँ पे int को क्या बोलेंगे? Int is a data type of the student roll number, and what do you mean by int? I can store only numeric values. ऐसे समझा जाता है, ऐसे नहीं कि स्टूडेंट पढ़ लिया मैंने ये पढ़ लिया primitive. No, first of all understand what is that. So now here you can consider it just like a container also. इसको आप प्रॉपर्टी को क्या मानो? प्रॉपर्टी you can consider as a container, and you are telling the type of container. आप मुझे बताओ, tell me one thing. I will give you a very very funny example from the, you can say, real life. आपके किचन में you can take the example. You want to store some solid thing. You always try to use some containers. Yes or no? आप मुझे बताओ. You want to store some sugar or flour, sugar or salt. You can store in a paper bag. You can store it. So container type is paper bag. Yes or no?
Yes.
अब आप मुझे बताओ, you want to store some liquid like oil. Can you store in a paper bag, or you need a plastic or glass container? Yes or no?
Yes.
और आप मुझे बताओ, किसी चीज को रखने से पहले आप कंटेनर डिसाइड करते हो कि रखने के बाद? चलो पेपर बैग में तेल डाल दिया, अब डिसाइड अरे अरे अरे. So it means here also at the time of defining the properties, we are designing the type of container so that no accident. No accident. I've decided it will take the numeric value. So if I will try to put some alphanumeric value, it will give error. Getting my point?
Yes.
So for every type of data type, like I've given you the example, properties are just like a container. So before using containers, you have to decide the type of container. Like I'm going to store the sugar in a solid container. I'm going to store the oil in a, you can say, you can use you don't use paper bag, you can use poly bag. In the same way you can. Now you want to store some gas. Take the example, you want to store some gas. So you can store in a open paper bag, open poly bag, or you need some compressed thing for that. Yes or no?
Yes.
तो आपका प्रॉपर्टी जो होता है, you have defined it. Now you have to decide कि उस प्रॉपर्टी में डेटा कैसे रखना है. So how Java decided this thing? By concept that is called data. You want to store numeric value, give it int. You want to store alphanumeric value, try it string. ठीक है? Student name can be a string. Yes or no?
Yes.
अगर मैं एक इसका example ले, so student age. Suppose take the example. I want to store the numeric value but decimal. तो अब decimal कैसे करें? So in decimal there is a data type that is called float.
Float, double.
Yes, I will come to that point also. So case.
Okay.
But that is good. I'm very happy that now from the first session we are very very interactive. Sukesh, Vivek, Rabia, everybody is interacting. So this is very good thing. So you are going to learn so many things. Okay? And at the same time, your fear will be just vanish, and you can interact me easily just like a friend, and you can ask me anything at any point of time. Okay, this is my way of teaching. That I don't say that let me complete the topic and then ask the question, because what happened if I will show you, don't ask me question when I complete the session after 1 hour, you will be say, oh, your mind is still stuck there, मुझे तो वो आया नहीं, तब से मैं वही दिमाग लगाए पढ़ा हूं. So interrupt me at the same time, your query will be resolved, then we will move to the next step. Is it okay?
Yes, sure.
Chali. So we have used the student roll number, student name, student. So these integer, string, float, these are called data type. So time to time, what will happen whenever we go in the different topics, we will learn different type of data type. ठीक है, जैसे हम बढ़ते जाएंगे डेटा टाइप बहुत सारे हम धीरे धीरे पढ़ते जाएंगे. Getting my point? But you understand what is the use of data type. Okay, so now another example I will tell you. आप अपने उसमें क्या करते हो, data type also use a concept of range. क्या use करता है? Range. अब मुझे कोई बताएगा कि range का क्या मतलब होता होगा? What do you mean by range? Anybody?
Some specific range will be decided like इतने range में ही data save होना चाहिए, इससे ज़्यादा exceed नहीं होना चाहिए.
Excellent. अब आपको मैं रियल लाइफ में बताता हूँ. रियल लाइफ में एग्जांपल इन योर किचन. टेल मी वन थिंग. आपको अपने किचन में सॉल्ट रखना है. कोई अपने किचन में क्या 5 किलो सॉल्ट रखता है कभी?
नो.
है ना? और क्या अपने किचन में कोई 1 किलो आटा रखता है? Salt will always be near about 1 kg and salt will be at approx more than 5 and 10 kg. Yes or no? Yes or no? भाई मुझे पता है कि नमक का जो कंजप्शन होता है वो 1 kg एक महीने के लिए that will be enough. लेकिन अगर आटा थोड़ा रखेगा कोई 1 किलो, वो तो एक दिन में खत्म हो जाएगा. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now this is the reason of range. What happens? Why you decide a range also? Sometimes what happens that you decide the size of your container according to your use. आपने अगर अपने कंटेनर का साइज पहले डिसाइड नहीं किया, so sometime it will be efficient and sometime it will be deficient. बताता हूं. आपने डिसाइड नहीं किया, आपने एक बॉक्स खरीद दिया 5 किलो का और आप उसमें क्या रख रहे हो? You are putting the salt of 1 kg. So actually you are wasting a 4 kg space. Yes or no? आपके किचन में 4 किलो का स्पेस हमेशा वेस्ट जाएगा. Yes or no?
Yes.
And now think about that. You have taken a storage of 1 kg and you want to store the flour there. अब आप उसमें आटा रखना चाहते हो तो 1 किलो आटा तो उसमें आ जाएगा, बाकी 4 किलो कहाँ रखोगे? So the thing is that every time whenever you are going to use any container, the container size actually decide the uses of your space. In the same way, container decide the uses of space in Java in terms of memory. आप अगर इसमें जितना बड़ा कंटेनर लोगे मेमोरी ज्यादा लेगा, जितना छोटा कंटेनर लोगे उतना मेमोरी कम लेगा. So you have to decide कि आपको उसमें स्टोर क्या करना है. Getting my point? So I will give another example. You can store the numeric value with the help of int also, and you can store the numeric value with the help of long also. Long और int में क्या difference होता है मैं बताऊं? The size or range of the int is little bit small and the range of long is little bit big.
Big.
तो आपको ऐसे ऐसे रेंज क्यों बना रखी है? तो रेंज क्यों बना रखी है? They have defined the data type. By knowing data type, they have declared the data type. You want to store the numeric value, use int. Why they have decided 2-3 data types for the same type? Like you can store the int value with the help of int also, long also, and you can go with there is another unit that is called short, that is called byte. These are all these are numeric. But the thing is that byte is used for small, short is for less than small, int is used little bit more, and long is more than that. So according to your need, you can decide the container. Getting my point? कि data type क्यों बनाया गया data type का range? हाँ जी.
Yes, sir.
So this is called range of the data type. So currently we know that we are not going to store so much big data in the rollover. So we'll make it int. Getting my point? So I will show you the example of long everything in the upcoming session. Getting my point? Clear hai? Chaliye. Now the thing is that अब मैंने देखा what I've seen that I've created a class and I've decided the structure of my class. We will learn the functions after some time. So here you have learned what is class, what is object, and how you can say define the properties of your object. Okay, so now here you can see here I've created the structure of a class with the properties. Now the thing is that this is just like a group. Where are the real objects? अब आप मुझे खुद बताओगे real world से एक चीज. Real world में take the example. In your real world, you have just take the example of you can take the example of Vivek. Vivek is very rich. So Vivek decided to open a school. So Vivek opened a school with the building. He has just developed, you can say develop all the classes, rooms are there, but there is no student. There is no student. So tell me, can I say that this is a class 7, this is a class 8 or class 9? Can we say this? क्या हम कह सकते हैं कि ये रूम जो जिसके बाहर लिखा है क्लास 7, दिस इज क्लास 7? कैन वी से दिस इफ नो स्टूडेंट इज देयर? आर यू गेटिंग माय क्वेश्चन? यस और नो?
Getting your question.
Okay. No. If you are getting, then reply me. If you are getting my question, मैंने बोला.
But sir, ideally we can say, but it doesn't have any meaning, correct
Yes.
meaning.
I will give the example of why it doesn't have a correct meaning. Now tell me one thing. Some auditor will come to your school to audit the class 7. That class 7 is running fine or not. Classroom is there, but no student is there. He can audit the class?
No.
क्लास को ऑडिट कैसे करते हैं? क्लास को अगर आपको अपना कॉलेज, आपको अपना, इफ यू कैन रिमाइंड योर स्कूल टाइम, हमारे क्लास को somebody, some person comes to audit our class, वो एक किसी बच्चे को उठा के खड़ा करता था and ask the questions. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है? क्लास और ग्रुप जो होता है, दिस इज जस्ट लाइक ए स्ट्रक्चर. हमने एक स्ट्रक्चर बना दिया है कि यहाँ पे इसका ग्रुप का नाम स्टूडेंट है, वी हैव प्रॉपर्टीज, लेकिन जब तक रियल ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं हमारे पास होंगे, वी कैन नॉट वर्क ऑन दैट. हम किसी रियल, आपको एक एग्जांपल और बताता हूँ, वेरी वेरी गुड एग्जांपल, एंड दैट आई ऑलवेज यूज इन माय एवरी सेशंस. आपने किसी ने ब्लूप्रिंट का नाम सुना? एनीबॉडी हर्ड अबाउट द नेम ऑफ ब्लूप्रिंट? ब्लूप्रिंट क्या होता है मैं बताऊं. आई विल गिव द फनी एग्जांपल. ऐसा क्यों होता है? यू विल गिव मी द आंसर. If you have seen the Hollywood and Bollywood movies, in that movies you can say one country developed a missile. So the spy from the other country just go to that country. He don't try to steal the particular missile. He try to steal the blueprint. क्यों blueprint चोरी करता है मुझे बताओ? वो actual missile को क्यों नहीं चोरी करता है? Can you give me the reason for that? Anybody?
It is easy to build.
The reason is that blueprint is just like a structure. ब्लूप्रिंट में वो सारी चीजें लिखी होती हैं कि मिसाइल कैसे बनेगी, कैसे काम करेगी, इसमें क्या क्या क्वालिटीज होंगी. इट इज जस्ट लाइक ए प्लेन पेपर, बट एवरीथिंग इज मेंशन्ड देयर. यस और नो? तो अगर किसी को ब्लूप्रिंट मिल जाए तो वो उससे 1,00,000 कॉपी बना सकता है. यस और नो?
Yes.
और किसी को अगर एक्चुअल मिसाइल दे दें तो उसे एक ही मिसाइल मिलेगी. यस और नो?
Yes.
सो नाउ व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस ब्लूप्रिंट से? लेकिन अगर मैं कहूं कि यू हैव ए ब्लूप्रिंट, कैन यू ट्रिगर ए मिसाइल फ्रॉम इट? क्या ब्लूप्रिंट से मिसाइल को ट्रिगर कर सकते हो? नहीं. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू कन्वर्ट इट इन अ रियल ऑब्जेक्ट. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? यस और नो?
Yes.
लेकिन फिर भी हम किस पे फोकस करते हैं? हम फोकस करते हैं स्ट्रक्चर पे, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं वी स्ट्रक्चर इज समथिंग लाइक दैट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प इन क्रिएटिंग द रियल ऑब्जेक्ट. अब रियल ऑब्जेक्ट बनाते वक्त हम क्या करते हैं? व्हाट वी रिफर फ्रॉम द ब्लूप्रिंट, कि भाई एक मिसाइल बनाने जा रहे हैं, इसका स्ट्रक्चर ये होना चाहिए. बार बार किसको प्रेफर करते हैं? We refer the structure. Blueprint में लिखा है इस मिसाइल का this should be used, we should use the, you can say, this particular gas for the, you can say, hydraulic part. We have to use a particular material for this, you can say, for this missile. So where it is mentioned? It is mentioned in the blueprint. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
चलिए एक एग्जांपल और देता हूं आपको. You can take the example of another that is called vaccine. हम आज के टाइम में क्या बोलते हैं? We are preparing a vaccine for the COVID. हम कोविड की एक वैक्सीन प्रिपेयर करते हैं. नाउ टेल मी वन थिंग, कोई कंट्री हमें वैक्सीन दे रही है, दे आर गिविंग अस द वैक्सीन, वो हमें उसका क्या दे दे कि हमें उससे वैक्सीन लेने की जरूरत ही ना पड़े? फॉर्मूला. सही कह रहा हूँ कि नहीं कह रहा हूँ?
Yes.
Right.
इन द पेपर दे कैन गिव अस कि इसमें यूज द, एंड यूजुअली इन डेली लाइफ हम यूज भी करते हैं. कोई हमसे बोलता है ना वी आर सफरिंग फ्रॉम फीवर, हम उससे ये थोड़ा बोलते हैं, हम बोलते हैं यू कैन टेक पैरासिटामोल. अब पैरासिटामोल के लिए आप क्रोसिन भी ले सकते हो, दैट कंटेन्स, है ना, you can contain Dolpol also. So many things are there. So what is the actual thing? Actual thing is the composition of that medicine. Yes or no? लेकिन अगर मैं पेपर पे डॉक्टर आपको लिख के देता है कि इसको क्रोसिन, यू हैव टू टेक पैरासिटामोल, अगर उस पेपर को हम खा ले तो हमारा बुखार थोड़ा सही हो जाएगा. वी नीड अ रियल इंस्टेंस ऑफ दैट.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
अब मैं आपको बताता हूँ why I'm taking so much big example here. This class is also just like a blueprint. ये क्लास आपको एक स्ट्रक्चर दिखा रही है. इट इज टेलिंग यू अबाउट दैट कि आई एम एज्यूमिंग, आई एम क्रिएटिंग द स्ट्रक्चर, आई एम ट्राइंग टू क्रिएट अ ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल, ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ विद द नेम ऑफ स्टूडेंट व्हिच कंटेन्स दिस प्रॉपर्टीज. लेकिन वो प्रॉपर्टीज तभी हम उसको असाइन कर सकते हैं, उन पे ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं व्हेन वी हैव ए रियल ऑब्जेक्ट. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? अगर हमारे पास रियल ऑब्जेक्ट है ही नहीं तो हम क्या करेंगे? हम तो देख ही पा रहे हैं इसको. यस और नो? So up now the question is that how we can create the real object. I will take only 5-10 minutes and then I will bind up. Okay, because today's session is very interactive. We will continue. in the next session. But let me take this example. That is very good. So this is, now you will see in the internet also, there is a definition of a class is also. Class is a blueprint.
Blueprint, yeah, right.
आप ये भी definition देखोगे. So now you can relate it. अब देखो कितना मजा आएगा. आप इस recording को just watch this recording one more time, and trust me, you will get more confident that you have a very, very good base in Java. ठीक है. चलिए. Now let me come to the object. So object की definition कोई बताएगा क्या होता है? We have used the definition of class is a collection of object having similar properties. What is the definition of object? अगर आप object की definition देखो तो वो भी बताता हूँ. What is the definition of object? किसी ने रात की वो बता सकता है? अरे we are friends, you can tell me. Object, बताओ. Object is the Sukesh runtime entity of a class.
Yes.
आप कहीं पे भी इंटरनेट पे देख लो, सबसे घटिया डेफिनेशन यही मिलेगी. ऑब्जेक्ट इज द रन टाइम एंटिटी ऑफ ए क्लास. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय रन टाइम एंटिटी? मतलब कि एक्चुअल क्लास तो एक स्टैटिक स्ट्रक्चर है जो एक्चुअली क्लास को रन करता है, जो उसको यूटिलाइज करता है. दैट इज ऑब्जेक्ट. सो क्लास इज रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय द ऑब्जेक्ट. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट?
Yes.
सो हम क्लास को किससे प्रेजेंट करते हैं? ऑब्जेक्ट को. अभी मैंने एग्जांपल दिया. You have a class. You have a class and you have a. Thank you very much. Okay, you have a class and you cannot audit a class without a real object, and that is a student. अब यहाँ पे भी student बताओ, मैं student बनाऊं कैसे? I need a real student. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So I need a representator. I need a representator of this group. मुझे इस ग्रुप से एक रियल ऑब्जेक्ट बना के रखना है जिसमें प्रेजेंट कर सको. फॉर एग्जांपल, आई कैन टेक योर राबिया एग्जांपल. Suppose take the example, हमने जो ग्रुप बनाया, we have created a group of student and we are considering that this is created, this is the structure of our batch. ये हमारे बैच का स्ट्रक्चर है. अब मैं कैसे प्रेजेंट करूंगा कि इसमें एक स्टूडेंट राबिया है, एक स्टूडेंट, one student is Vivek and one student is Sukesh and one student is, you can say, one student is Shruti, one student is Ranjita, one student is Payal. कैसे स्पेसिफाई करूंगा? कैसे मैं तीन? We need a three real, 3, 5, 6, 7 real instances. Yes or no?
Yes.
अब कैसे बनाते हैं? Just see here. हम क्या करते थे, यहीं पे हम गलती करते थे. We just created the structure here, and in the same class we created the main function. हम ऐसा आज से नहीं करेंगे. लर्निंग के लिए आप क्या करना? Just create a separate class. फिर मैं आपको उसका रीजन भी बताऊंगा. Don't worry about that. So this time I'm creating a class, main class. उसका नाम रखा है, just use the main
class.
Okay. यहाँ पे एक forget हो गया मैं. This time this main class is going to use the structure of a student. ये main class क्या करेगी? किसका structure use करेगी? Student का. तो student का अब program मेरा कहाँ से इसका मतलब start होगा? Main class is the person or main class is the right place to start the write a code. तो इसीलिए इसके अंदर क्या होना जरूरी है? Public. आपको student के अंदर लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. STATIC void void main. और आपसे एडवाइस करूंगा स्टार्टिंग में डोंट यूज सो मेनी हेल्प्स फ्रॉम द, यू कैन से फ्रॉम द इक्लिप्स. कभी ऐसा मत करना कि स्टार्टिंग में न्यू जस्ट गिव द नेम ऑफ क्लास और यहाँ पे इस चेकबॉक्स को मत क्लिक करना. इफ यू हैव यूज्ड इन दिस चेकबॉक्स यू विल नेवर अंडरस्टैंड कि इसमें आप इसका सिंटेक्स क्या होता है. क्योंकि होता है ना, अगर आपको फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग यू आर जस्ट मेक अ क्लिक ऑन द स्विचेस ऑफ योर लाइट फैन. कभी आपको पता चला कि फैन अंदर से चलता कैसे है, लाइट अंदर से चलती कैसे है? बिकॉज यू ओनली वर्क ऑन द स्विचिंग पार्ट. यस और नो? आपने इसको चेक बॉक्स कर दिया, आपको यहाँ आ गया. तो यू शुड इन स्टार्टिंग यू शुड ट्राई टू राइट एज मच कोड एज मच पॉसिबल. ठीक है? ये एक बार यू आर इन द गुड कंडीशन, आप उसके बाद करने की जरूरत नहीं. बिकॉज द रीजन इज दैट दिस इज द हॉट क्वेश्चन ऑफ द इंटरव्यू, दैट व्हाट इज द सिंटेक्स ऑफ, व्हाट इज द कंप्लीट सिंटेक्स ऑफ मेन फंक्शन. देखो मैंने लिखा. Now this main function, what is the main function? You will see when I have created a main function in this main class and right click, I will get the option run as Java application. All right. Now go and check the student. Just right click here and tell me, are you getting any option in run as Java application?
No.
Because reason is that you can run or start your execution from that class only, which contains
main class.
अगर मेन फंक्शन आपका नहीं है तो आप, और आपको मेन फंक्शन किसी भी पूरे प्रोजेक्ट में, एक्चुअली द स्टैंडर्ड सेज इन द होल प्रोजेक्ट इफ यू हैव 100 जावा फाइल्स योर मेन फंक्शन शुड बी ओनली इन one class.
One. Okay.
जहां से आपका प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट होगा केवल उसमें मेन, ऐसा नहीं कि हर क्लास में मेन फंक्शन बना दिया। इसका तो मतलब हो गया क्या, यू हैव ए बंगलो, यू हैव 4 गेट, जिसका मन आ रहा है जिस गेट से घुस जा रहा है। नाउ टेल मी वन थिंग, राबिया हैज ए बिग बंगलो, इट हैज 4 गेट्स। अब राबिया को तो पता ही नहीं है किस गेट से कौन आएगा, सो वेयर शी इज गोइंग टू वेट। Are you getting my point? So there can be so many gates, but there should be a specific main gate. Rabia will understand, okay, I have called a electrician, so definitely he will enter from this particular gate. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
So main gate in this project, you will tell your team member, this is your project and the name of main class is main. So nobody is going to write directly any code anywhere. He will start exploring your project from main class. कहां से चलता है आपका प्रोजेक्ट? This main class. So main class is main function. So this main function is actually this is called a main function. तो function मैं आपको बताऊंगा बाद में. I will cover this topic here especially. लेकिन सबसे पहले, because we have a gap of you can say 5 days, so let me little bit discuss about object. तो object बनाते कैसे मैं आपको बताऊं. If you want to create a real object of a student class, you have to write a code new student student, this one. इससे क्या बनता है? It contains a real object. अब ये real object बनता है. Why I'm saying that it is a real object? क्योंकि when this code will run, you will not able to see, but it will create a storage in the memory. ये memory में क्या करेगा? एक storage, एक location बनाएगा जहां पे चीजें सेव करेगा आपके लिए. जैसे कि I want to store the details of Rabia as a student. It will create a particular object of student. एक object बना लिया. एक ऑब्जेक्ट बना लिया मैंने इस क्लास का. आई वांट टू प्रेजेंट 2 ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द क्लास. 2 बना दो. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट?
यस.
ये 2 ऑब्जेक्ट बना देगा. यू वांट टू क्रिएट द 3 ऑब्जेक्ट. देखो यहाँ पे एक चीज प्रॉपर प्रूफ हो गई. देयर आर 3 स्टूडेंट्स. आई हैव क्रिएटेड 3 ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ 3 स्टूडेंट. क्या इन तीनों में अभी कोई भी चीज डिफरेंट होगी कि सब कुछ सेम होगी? सबके पास एक ही प्रॉपर्टी है, सबके पास सेम होगी. यस और नो?
यस.
लेकिन हाउ वी कैन मेक अ डिफरेंस? सबके पास सेम प्रॉपर्टी होगी और आपने कोई वैल्यू असाइन नहीं की. सो दीज 3 ऑब्जेक्ट्स आर आइडेंटिकल. अगर आप थोड़ी देर के लिए मान के चलो कि मुझे तो पता है योर नेम, हर नेम इज राबिया, योर नेम इज सुकेश, हर नेम इज श्रुति, लेकिन अगर नहीं होता तो मेरे लिए सबसे पहले क्या, इफ यू आर जस्ट एंटरिंग इनटू माय ऑफलाइन क्लासेस, मुझे तो क्या लगता, एक स्टूडेंट अंदर आया. यस और नो?
यस.
2 स्टूडेंट अंदर आए, 3 स्टूडेंट अंदर आए. Because I have not understand or I am not getting the properties of their, I am not getting the values of their property. मुझे पता है जो स्टूडेंट अंदर आएगा उसके पास नेम भी होगा, उसका एज भी होगा, उसका सब्जेक्ट भी होगा, सबके पास सेम है, बट उनकी वैल्यू मुझे नहीं पता. And what is happening in the same class, different objects are differentiated on the basis of their values. एक क्लास में 2 स्टूडेंट हैं, दोनों के पास सेम प्रॉपर्टी होगी, लेकिन क्या डिफरेंट होगा? उनकी वैल्यूज. देखो राबिया, यू कैन कंसीडर राबिया एज ए स्टूडेंट, सुकेश इज ए स्टूडेंट, बोथ आर स्टूडेंट, दोनों के पास एक प्रॉपर्टी होगी नेम, बट व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ नेम फॉर राबिया? दैट इज राबिया. एंड व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ फॉर नेम फॉर प्रॉपर्टी नेम फॉर सुकेश? सुकेश आनंद. देयर इज अ प्रॉपर्टी दैट इज कॉल्ड अ सब्जेक्ट. द वैल्यू फॉर सब्जेक्ट फॉर राबिया विल बी Selenium. The value for the subject for Sukesh can be complete automation. Yes or no?
Yes.
तो यहाँ पे कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं? I have created this object. अब ये ऑब्जेक्ट मैंने बना लिया. इस ऑब्जेक्ट को बनाने के बाद it will create 3 objects in the memory. Here very interesting thing. जब भी आप जावा पढ़ो, if you want to learn yourself also, you can go with that. Trust me, that is not very big deal. बहुत टफ नहीं है, बहुत आसान है. Only the thing is that you should keep one thing in your mind. पूरी जावा को पढ़ते वक्त यू हैव रिफर इट विद द हेल्प ऑफ मेमोरी. अगर आप मेमोरी से रिलेट करोगे, एवरीथिंग विल बी इजी, अदरवाइज एवरीथिंग विल बी टफ. तो आई एम गोइंग टू डू वन थिंग. दिस इज योर मेमोरी. मैंने मान लिया क्या है? मेमोरी. अब जब ये कोड लिखते हो, व्हेन यू राइट दिस कोड एंड व्हेन दिस कोड रन्स, व्हाट हैपेंस इन एनीबॉडी? या
सर, राबिया हियर. सर एक डाउट है सर, जैसे आपने ये 3 एक मतलब सिमिलर ऑब्जेक्ट बना दिए, ठीक है, अभी हम लोग असाइन कर रहे हैं मतलब इनको डिफरेंट वेरिएबल में, लाइक A1 A2 A3, ठीक है. टिल द टाइम वी आर नॉट असाइनिंग इन वेरिएबल, तो सर ये एरर नहीं दे रहा है, मतलब क्या यूज
हाँ,
हुआ है?
एरर क्यों नहीं दे रहा मैं बता रहा हूँ. इट इज समथिंग लाइक, आपको बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल बताऊंगा कि यहाँ पे जब ये लाइन ऑफ कोड रन करता है तो क्या होता है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग कि व्हेन द कोड रन्स फ्रॉम द मेन फंक्शन इट एंटर्स इनटू दिस ब्लॉक, इसमें एंटर करता है और इसके बाद क्या होता है, दिस इज नोन एज द फुल स्टॉप ऑफ द जावा. जैसे इंग्लिश में फुल स्टॉप होता है, फुल स्टॉप का मतलब क्या होता है, वन सेंटेंस इज कंप्लीटेड.
हाँ.
In the Java, how you will understand that one sentence is completed? Semicolon.
Semicolon.
Semicolon का मतलब the meaning of semicolon in Java is equivalent to the meaning of full stop in English. इसका मतलब Java में सिर्फ वहां पे बोलते हैं we call it sentence and here we call it statement. तो जब एक स्टेटमेंट खत्म होता है, how Java come to know कि मेरा एक स्टेटमेंट खत्म हो गया, when it identifies, when it finds a semicolon. अच्छा, सेंटेंस का मतलब क्या होता है इंग्लिश में? when you are going to you can say read some sentences in your book, तो सेंटेंस का मतलब why we use a full stop? Full stop का मतलब होता है एक
This is the complete sentence.
Yes, and you have to extract the meaning of that sentence, then you have to read second sentence, है ना?
Yes.
कि एक सेंटेंस को पढ़ो, उसकी मीनिंग आप अगर आप you can take the example in our you can say school time, हम कैसे पढ़ते थे, हम एक सेंटेंस पढ़ते थे फिर उसकी मीनिंग बताते थे, then we move to the second sentence. Yes or no?
Yes. Yeah.
So same thing here. Java actually execute one statement. When it execute, it make the impact wherever in the memory. Then it go to the next.
Second.
अच्छा, it is also a rule. Java में भी रूल है और इंग्लिश में भी रूल है, भले आप फॉलो ना करते हो. When you have just reached to the second sentence, क्या पुराना सेंटेंस फिर से रिपीट करने आते हो?
No.
So it means you can go in the forward direction. One sentence completed, second, third. So same thing here. If your control executed one statement and your control goes to the next line, you will never refer the previous one. Getting my point? एक बार आपका कंट्रोल जावा का एग्जीक्यूट करते हुए यहाँ आ गया, उसके पीछे आपने क्या किया है उसका कंट्रोल वहां पे नहीं रहेगा. Getting my point?
Yes.
Now the thing is that Rabia asked me a very very good question. Pradeep, you have created 3 objects. यहाँ पे आपने कोई क्या किया, आपने कोई डिफरेंस भी नहीं किया, अभी तीनों ऑब्जेक्ट एक जैसे हैं. तो how you make identity, how you are going to say that first object in the memory is going to be stored and it is going to present Rabia, second one Sukesh and third one Vivek, or you can say Shruti, anybody. Getting my point? तो यहाँ पे एक चीज बताओ, when I'm going to write this code, ये होगा क्या मैं बताता हूँ. Just see what happens in terms of memory. When you write this code and it runs, when you run this program, control goes to line. So actually it creates a memory. It actually allocates a space in your memory. How? First of all, it goes to your class. ध्यान से देखना, जैसे मैं कर रहा हूँ आपको भी करना चाहिए. रन टाइम पे कैसा है? Press your control button and then click on mouse. It will become hand. कहाँ कंट्रोल जा रहा है?
Student.
Your control is going to the student class.
Yes.
तो होता क्या है? At the run time also, when this line of code execute, control goes to your student class. Not the student class. I'm saying that whatever object you are creating, if you are creating the object of employee, so control will go to the employee. Okay. So what happens? Whatever object you are you can say calling, the control will go to that class. Now what happens? Let me explain you. When control goes to this class, it actually reads the structure. ये क्या करता है? स्ट्रक्चर को पढ़ता है.
Yes.
ये अब इस स्ट्रक्चर को जो पढ़ता है, इसी स्ट्रक्चर को आपके लिए मेमोरी में सेव करता है. कैसे सेव करता है? See here. First of all, when it execute this line of code, it understand that I have to create an object in the memory. तो सबसे पहले in the memory, this is the whole memory. It creates a specific area. ये उसने बोला कि मैंने क्या बनाया? एक ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए जगह बना ली. Getting my point?
Yes.
And within this object, how many properties it has to store? यहाँ पे 4 है, मैं इसको कम करता हूँ, otherwise it will be lengthy. So it has to create 3, it has to store 3 values. Yes or no? तो ये क्या करता है? It actually allocates 3 different memory within the object memory. Getting my point?
Yes.
Within this object memory, this whole circle, this whole oval is the object for the whole object. And within this object, internally, it creates 3 spaces. One for, tell me. One for
student roll number,
Student name, student school name.
Yes. So you got the point. Creating the object means it will store a big memory, and within that memory, it is going to internally divide the memory into the parts depending on the properties. अगर इसमें 4 प्रॉपर्टी है तो 4 लोकेशन अंदर, 5 है तो 5, 6 है तो 6. तो क्या करता है control, your Java control goes to student class, reads all the properties, on the basis of that it decide the space within the object. अब जो स्पेस बनाता है तो उसके लिए करता क्या है, जो स्पेस देगा, दिस स्पेस इज आल्सो डिसाइडेड विद द हेल्प ऑफ डेटा टाइप आल्सो. मतलब स्टूडेंट रोल नंबर के लिए जो स्पेस दिया उसके अंदर व्हाट टाइप ऑफ वैल्यू कैन स्टोर, न्यूमेरिक. ओके, द डेटा टाइप इज गिवन string, so it will store, it will create this location, this square, and the data type will be string. Getting my point?
Yeah.
चलिए अब आपको बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग, आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग. इट हैज क्रिएटेड दिस ऑब्जेक्ट एंड नाउ थिंग इज कंप्लीटेड. ये इंस्ट्रक्शन कंप्लीट हो गया. कंट्रोल विल गो टू द नेक्स्ट लाइन. यस और नो?
Yes.
अब नेक्स्ट लाइन पे जाएगा, सेम इंस्ट्रक्शन इज देयर, सो इट इज गोइंग टू परफॉर्म सेम थिंग अगेन. यस और नो?
Yes.
ये फिर से पता क्या करेगा, फिर से एक ऑब्जेक्ट, फिर से इट विल क्रिएट अ न्यू ऑब्जेक्ट, ऐसे एक ऑब्जेक्ट बनाएगा. और इस ऑब्जेक्ट के अंदर फिर से क्या करेगा, इट विल असाइन सेम 3 प्रॉपर्टी इन द सेम वे. यस और नो?
Yes.
Let me do one. It will assign the location of student roll number internally. Then it will assign the location for, you can say, for student name and school name. Yes or no? कर देगा?
Yes.
Now control will come to the third. तीसरे में भी ऐसा ही करेगा. Yes or no?
Yes.
अब now I'm asking a question. Control is at line number 12. Suppose करो कि यहाँ पे control line number 12 के starting में. I want to set some values in the first object. मुझे पहले ऑब्जेक्ट में कुछ वैल्यूज सेट करनी है, बिकॉज इट क्रिएटेड द ऑब्जेक्ट बट देयर नो वैल्यूज देयर, इट इज सेव्ड विदाउट एनी वैल्यू. यस और नो?
Yes.
तो कैसे ऊपर जाएंगे? आपको लगता है कि आपका कंट्रोल, यू हैव ए कंट्रोल एट लाइन नंबर 12 एंड यू कैन गो टू द लाइन नंबर 10 और यू कैन do something like that. I'm in simple one, you can say whatever object is created in the memory at line number 10, I want to refer that memory at line number 12. Can I do it?
No.
Yes.
No. No. कैसे? Okay, how?
Because it will not. पहले हमने पढ़ा है कि ये previous sentence को नहीं read करता फिर.
Right. तो हम यहाँ पे क्या, इसका मतलब it has this, the impact of this line is we have already created a location object in the memory. Now control is there. तो अगर मैं कंट्रोल यहाँ पे आ गया तो इस ऑब्जेक्ट का जो वहां पे मेमोरी बना है उसको तो मैंने कहीं रिफर किया ही नहीं. यस और नो?
Yes.
इसके लिए बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल देते हैं, you will understand. What is the example? Tell me one thing. I have asked Rabia that Rabia, please just sit here, and I asked her to sit in front of a room. Okay, and she is not allowed to enter the room. Are you getting my point? And now I'm giving Rabia one balloon of same size and same color. I just give to Rabia and say, Rabia, can you throw it in the room? Rabia just thrown it. Then I give the second. Then I have third. Rabia thrown all the balloons in the room. Now all balloons are floating in the room. Rabia, can you pinch or can you burst the second balloon? You are not allowed to enter into the room. Can you burst?
No.
क्या नहीं, क्यों नहीं कर सकते? Because two reasons are there. One reason is that Rabia cannot enter into the room. Getting my point? Room is just like a memory. तो enter नहीं कर सकते. मान लो enter कर भी जाते हैं तब भी एक दिक्कत. All 3 balloons are of same color, same size. उन्हें पता भी नहीं चल पाएगा कौन सा पहला कौन सा दूसरा. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. अब इस अगर if I have already asked Rabia this scenario before giving the balloon, तो Rabia एक trick इस्तेमाल करती है. What is the trick? Before throwing the balloon into the room, she will use a thread. One side of the thread she will tie on the balloon, and second side of the thread she will tie with the one finger. Yes or no? Rabia क्या करती? बलून को फेंकने से पहले बलून में एक धागा बांधती, उस धागे का एक सिरा कहाँ होता, उनकी एक फिंगर में बांध देती, and then she throw the balloon, but still she can contact with the balloon with the help of that finger.
String.
है ना? वो फिंगर्स अगर मैं बोलूं, in the same way when I have given second balloon to the Rabia, second balloon, Rabia will tie one side of the thread and use another thread. One side of second thread she will tie with the balloon, and other side of the same thread she will tie with the second finger. In the same way, third finger and fourth finger. Now still Rabia is standing outside the room. मैंने Rabia से बोला, Rabia, you have to burst the second balloon. Rabia don't need to enter to the room. She will simply twist the second finger. अगर राबिया सेकंड फिंगर को ट्विस्ट करेंगे बलून उनके पास आ जाएगा. Yes or no?
Yes.
Rabia, you are getting the point?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे जो बलून को मैंने एग्जांपल दिया, दैट इज अ ऑब्जेक्ट. फिंगर इज जस्ट लाइक ए रेफरेंस. जब भी आप किसी मेमोरी में किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को बनाते हो, यू शुड क्रिएट अ रेफरेंस फॉर दैट. एक रेफरेंस बना के अपने पास क्या रख लो, उसका कंट्रोल. Getting my point? So that in the future you want to work on your object, use your reference. आप अपनी फिंगर का यूज करो उस ऑब्जेक्ट तक काम करने के लिए. Getting my point? So how it is possible? Just see here. अभी आपने मेरी कोडिंग देखी, मेमोरी में ऐसे हो रही है. First line this one, second line this one. I am going to make a change. Whenever you are creating the object, same time you have to write left side a code that is known as S1. आपको एक रेफरेंस वेरिएबल बनाना है S1 एंड बिफोर दैट यू हैव टू राइट द टाइप ऑफ दैट रेफरेंस. क्या लिखना है आपको? अब यहाँ पे बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज बताता हूँ. राइट साइड पार्ट इज गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ ऑब्जेक्ट इन द मेमोरी. ये ऑब्जेक्ट क्या करता है? इट इज गोइंग टू क्रिएट दिस स्ट्रक्चर इन द मेमोरी. यस और नो?
Yes.
And now when you have written this code, student S1 equal to do. So because you have written this code in the same statement, semicolon उसके बाद ही लगा है. Yes or no?
Yes.
तो पता ही क्या करेगा? When first of all in the right side, this code will run. It will create the object, and when it will come to the left side, it will create a reference, something like this.
Yes.
And it will point to that object.
Yes. S1.
Yes. अब क्या फर्क पड़ता है? You have user reference. When you are at line number, suppose 13, you want to set some values in this object which is created at line number 10. कोई दिक्कत नहीं. You have a reference S1 or yes or no? आप इस reference का use करो S1 dot. Are you able to okay. There is one thing because we are in different class. So let me first of all let me add public here. Then I will show you what is the use of public. Okay, that will be a separate topic. Don't worry about it. Only tell me one thing. When I'm writing S1, S1 is reference which is pointing to the first object. Yes or no?
Yes.
So when I'm saying S1 dot, are you able to see all properties are accessible here?
Yes.
S1 dot student name roll number. तो इसका मतलब हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Whatever object we have created in line number 10, we have stored our references S1.
S1.
जब भी इस ऑब्जेक्ट पे मुझे काम करना है, like मुझे इसको बस्ट करना है इस बलून को, तो मैं किसका हेल्प ले रहा हूँ? S1.
S1.
मैं S1 से जो भी एक्शन परफॉर्म करूंगा, that will go and make impact on memory on that particular object. जो भी मैं S1 से एक्शन परफॉर्म करूंगा, वो इस ऑब्जेक्ट पे होगा. Yes or no?
Yes.
And if you want to perform some action on line number 11 object, तो मुझे भी यहाँ पे क्या करना चाहिए? I should create a reference here. और इसका नाम रेफरेंस का क्या देना चाहिए? Something different, like S2. Yes or no?
Yes.
ऐसे third object I am going to create, I will give the name S3. अब मुझे बताओ, when your control will come to the line number 13, 14, 17, after 1,000 of line, you want to perform some action on this student object, you can do because you have a reference. So this part is known as creating the object in the memory. Right side में हमें दिखता नहीं है, वो क्या होता है? The impact in the memory, it is creating the object. लेकिन मेरे प्रोग्राम में मैं कैसे रिफर करूं भाई? So that is the reference. So S1 is known as reference. S2 is known as reference. S1 is pointing to the first object, S2 is referring to the second created object, and S3 is the three object. Yes or no?
Yes.
अब मुझे तीन ऑब्जेक्ट मिल गए, मैं बोल सकता हूँ दिस ऑब्जेक्ट इज फॉर राबिया, दिस ऑब्जेक्ट इज फॉर विवेक एंड दिस ऑब्जेक्ट इज फॉर सुकेश. अब लेकिन बात ये आती है, करंटली ऑल दीज थ्री ऑब्जेक्ट्स आर अवेलेबल इन द मेमोरी एंड विदाउट एनी वैल्यू. तो अभी भी सब लोग क्या है? एक जैसे दिख रहे हैं. They are three different objects in the memory, but still they are appearing same because they have no values. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
अगर मैं पहले ऑब्जेक्ट को I want to you present this object for Rabia, तो मुझे एक काम करना है. S1 dot roll number, S1 dot student roll number equal to, I will write 7. Then I will write S1 dot student name equal to Rabia. So now S1 is presenting to which student? Rabia. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
So now anybody I want to say what is what is the representation of Rabia? I will say S1
S1,
student is
S1.
Rabia. Now I want to represent Vivek. I will say S2 dot student roll number, that is 8, and I'm saying that S2 dot student name equal to Vivek. Now tell me, as जब ये करेंगे, what will happen in the memory? I will tell you one by one.
S2 is showing Vivek.
Yes, S2 is showing Vivek. अब देखो memory में कैसे काम करेगा मैं बताऊं. You can do all the things here because you have created the object and reference here. You can do this thing here also. आपने होगा क्या, देखो instruction. I have told you, you have to run your instruction one by one. When this code will run, it will create an object in the memory and S1 reference in the memory. Yes or no?
Yes.
When this code will run, it will create an object in the memory and S2 something like that.
Yeah.
This is going to represent the second one. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now the thing is that it doesn't matter you want to write this code here or you want to write this code after just creating the S1. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, because in the whole programming, if you have a reference, आप अभी करो या 10,000 लाइन के बाद करो. Yes or no? Getting my point? Rabia
Yes.
को मैंने सारे, I have already given all the balloons and she tied all the balloons with a thread and with her fingers. तो अगर मैं उससे 10 बलून देने के बाद ही बोलूंगा मुझे I want to bust the second balloon, उसको करना क्या है, second finger को use करना. Yes or no?
Yes.
ठीक है? So always work on that. This is called object, जिसको हम देख नहीं सकते. So how we refer it? How we refer it? With a word, with a variable, that is called reference. तो इसको बोलते हैं reference variable. Now we are, for this object we have a reference variable S1. And when we have set the value, हम simple बोलेंगे, कोई मुझसे बोलेगा, can you tell me who is the Rabia student? I will say S1. S1 is presenting Rabia. You want to get the detail of Rabia, a student roll number, student name. You can say everything. So for example, S1 dot student school name. I can say ABC. Is it okay?
Yes.
And we can write same thing for Vivek, like some different school for timing. Let me assume I'm creating a structure for a student and that is not related to a particular school. So we can take the example of PQR. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
अब देखो मैंने दो प्रेजेंट कर लिए. So I can do, let me remove this one. केवल दो से एग्जांपल सेट. अब मैं बताता हूँ how the code runs in your memory. पहले हमने क्या किया था? I wrote this code, then I write this code. So what happens? It created an object and memory and reference, then it created second object and memory, right? अब इसी कोड को अगर मैंने यहाँ लिख दिया पहले, so what will happen? This will go into the memory, create an object and S1 reference. Yes or no?
Yes.
When the control will come to the line number 11, what will happen? Always the code run from the right side. ये 7 value को लेगा. It will in the memory, it will pick 7 value. And where it is going to store? Where S1 roll number is pointing. So where S1 roll number is pointing? Tell me. S1 roll number किसको point कर रहा है? नीचे वाले को तो नहीं कर रहा है. S2 वाले को तो नहीं कर रहा है. किसको present कर रहा है? S1 वाले को. So it will store the value here. Getting my point?
Yes.
अगर इसी के बाद देखो, I'm trying to make my code little bit disturbed. अगर मैंने Control X यहाँ लिख के, sorry, अगर मैंने I have already written this code after this, तो इसी समय दो ऑब्जेक्ट बना लेता. Yes or no? And I am writing this code.
Yes.
तो क्या करेगा? मैंने बोला ना, once you have created the reference, doesn't matter where you are operating on your object. मैंने लिखा S1 dot roll number 7. You have not operated other things on the object, but you have written S2 roll number. So where it is going to save the 8 roll number, but where? For
S2.
S2. You guys are getting yes or no?
Yes.
In the same way, it doesn't matter where you are writing the code. इसीलिए मैंने आपसे बोला, मैं S1 यहाँ पे कराऊं, चाहे मैं S2 यहाँ पे कराऊं, उसको तो एक चीज पता है, where it is referring.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
अब देख लेना, मैं इस कोड को ऊपर नीचे कितना भी कर दूं, it will not give any
Error.
right, and it will go to the specific location.
सर बेटर वे कौन सा होता है कि टू क्रिएट रेफरेंस एंड ऑब्जेक्ट उसके बाद वैल्यूज पुट करना या फिर जो अभी हमने किया?
It depends on your requirement. It depends on your requirement. आपकी requirement कैसे है ना. देखो आपको देखो again if you will see my best example is always a kitchen, है ना. मेरा example हमेशा kitchen होता है because you can understand it's very very easy. अच्छा आपका देखो example क्या है. आप दो काम कर सकते हो. When you are bringing the salt, same time you are bringing the container. Yes or no?
Yes.
तो आप कंटेनर लेके आए, उसी समय नमक लेके आए, आपने नमक को कंटेनर में रख दिया. एक ऑप्शन ये भी है, लेकिन ज्यादातर लोग क्या करते हैं पहले what girls are really fascinated about that. नहीं पहले तो मैं सुंदर सुंदर कंटेनर लाके रखूंगी, then I will decide कौन सा सामान किसमें डालेंगे. Yes or no? तो आपने क्या किया? You have already created so many containers like object. Then you are storing the value. Yes or no? लेकिन दोनों में फर्क कुछ नहीं पड़ा, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा. Only the thing is that आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है. Getting my point?
Yes.
ठीक है. Okay, now come back here. So when you have done this thing, what will happen? Same thing happen. जब when you are writing S1, ये स्टूडेंट नेम को रिफर करेगा S1 वाला. When you are writing S2, ये स्टूडेंट नेम को रिफर करेगा but S2. तो राबिया, where it is going to save राबिया? Here. Where it is going to save? ABC.
S1 reference. S1 reference.
S1 reference. Very good. तो आप देखना रेफरेंस से आपकी चीजें, it will make your life easy. ये देखो. Now 8 is there. Vivek is going to store in the student name, but at which location? For in the object of S2.
S2.
Where it is going to store the PQR? Student name. देखो student name, student location ये भी. This is also location student roll number, school name. This is also location of student name. लेकिन दोनों के क्या है? Location क्या है? One is in one object and another is another. है दोनों स्कूल. देखो दोनों प्रॉपर्टी स्कूल है. इसको आप ऐसे समझ सकते हो. In two houses. Yes, reference variable is different.
Yes.
है ना. Properties are same. तो इसको आप ऐसे समझ सकते हो. We can have two you can say we have same name for two person in two different family.
But reference variable is different.
अब देखो ऐसा होगा. I can take the example. So take the example. Vivek has a son and his name is, suppose take the example Abhi. मेरे पास भी suppose take the example, I have also a son and the name is Abhi. तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, उनके बेटे का नाम भी अभी है, मेरा भी है. When we are going to refer, विवेक का भी कि प्रदीप का भी. Yes or no?
Yes.
So same thing here. लेकिन हम refer कैसे कर रहे हैं? S1 is going to the point of contact. Getting my point?
Yes.
So here you have learned the thing that what is object, what is, and if you want to say here you are setting the value S1 dot. तो जब आप set करते हो, what how you write S1 dot roll number equal to means you are assigning some value. अगर आपको इसको वैल्यू को रीड करना है तो कैसे रीड करोगे? You will simply write this code. अगर केवल इतना लिखो इसका मतलब you are fetching the value from the memory, and when you are write equal to you are assigning some value. ठीक है. आप देखना चाहो ये देखो मैं करता हूँ. मैं I am using the SOP और SOP में मैं लिखता हूँ S1 dot roll number. तो ये क्या करेगा? It will fetch the value of roll number from S1 और उसको print कर देगा.
And then print.
Right? तो इसके पहले काम करता हूँ. You can understand. तो इसके पहले let me write a string also. अच्छा, आप में से anybody is want to just you can say what you want to bind the session, you can ask me because I'm very very passionate. तो मुझे कभी क्या होता है मैं flow में कुछ ज्यादा ही पढ़ा जाता हूँ. So you can ask me, Pradeep, for today it is enough. We have to revise lot of things. If single person will say, I will bind the session. So we are good to go, or you want to bind the session? अरे सब बोलो.
No issues.
Sir,
No
we can
issues.
bind it here.
Yes, this is good thing. Or now the thing is that हम हर आदमी बोल सकता है, because the thing is that now we have created this group just like a family, and in this group if you are facing any problem please ping your queries on WhatsApp. What is the purpose? किसी को आज के टॉपिक में कुछ भी नहीं समझ आया, ping your query there. Rabia will ping, Ranjita will give the answer, Shruti will give the answer, Payal will give the answer, Sukesh can give the answer. So what overall will happen? You are trying to make a group study. And if all of you will fail, I will jump into the picture and will give the right thing. Getting my point? So from day one, you have to do this thing. Getting my point?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So I'm binding the session for the day. And in the next session, we will recap on this.
सर एक डाउट है मुझे सर, जो आपने अभी बताया कि जो मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि न्यू स्टूडेंट हम लोगों ने सेम क्रिएट किया और आपने बताया सेमीकोलन से मतलब एक स्टेटमेंट कंप्लीट होता है नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट पे स्विच करता है. तो सर जब हम लोग ये चीज वेरिएबल मतलब इंट ए एंड फिर से मैं इंट ए लिख दूं तो ये एरर देता है ना?
नहीं आई एम राइटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. आप मुझे बताओ कहाँ लिखना है. मेन फंक्शन आई हैव टू राइट इंट ए.
हाँ फिर लिखिए.
हाँ int a लिखा, क्या करना है?
हाँ ये हाँ फिर नेक्स्ट लाइन में फिर से सेम वेरिएबल में
क्या लिखो? a लिखो।
जी
अब यहाँ पे तो एरर देगा, आप मुझे बताओ रीजन इज दैट। आप यहाँ से पहले इसको यहाँ तो भूल ही जाओ, थोड़ी देर के लिए एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे रहो। इन द स्टूडेंट क्लास कैन यू कीप टू प्रॉपर्टीज विद द सेम नेम?
No.
एम्बिगिटी हो जाएगी कि नहीं हो जाएगी? दिस इज कॉल्ड एम्बिगिटी। तो एक क्लास में अगर आपको दो प्रॉपर्टी रखनी है, अरे कुछ तो डिफरेंशिएशन करना पड़ेगा, यस और नो?
Yes.
है ना? तो आपको देखो, आप अगेन मेरा माय फेवरेट प्लेस इज किचन, है ना? माय फेवरेट प्लेस इज किचन। किचन में यू वांट टू स्टोर द टेक द एग्जांपल, यू वांट टू स्टोर द सॉल्ट एंड यू वांट टू स्टोर द शुगर। आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द ग्राइंड शुगर। अगर आपने ग्राइंड शुगर देखी हो, आई एम आस्किंग अबाउट द बॉयज, गर्ल्स ने तो देखी होगी। अगर ग्राइंड शुगर देख लो और सॉल्ट देख लो, दैट इज लुक सेम, यस और नो? लेकिन आप डब्बे में रखते वक्त क्या करते हो फिर? यू यूज अ स्टिकर जस्ट लाइक ए प्रॉपर्टी। वरना कोई क्या करेगा, सब्जी में चीनी डाल देगा और दूध में नमक डाल देगा, यस और नो?
Yes.
तो till the time you are not facing the ambiguity, you can take anything. अभी मैंने एग्जांपल दिया, विवेक के बेटे का नाम अभी, मेरे बेटे का नाम अभी। लेकिन क्या विवेक के घर में अगर दो बेटे हों तो दोनों का नाम अभी रखेंगे विवेक?
No.
Because it will create ambiguity. विवेक बोलेंगे I bring a chocolate, दोनों अभी आके खड़े हो गए, for me. So he is going to create, he don't want to create ambiguity. दो बेटे अभी and Ravi. Is it okay?
Yes.
Rabia, you got the point?
यस सर
In any place in the structure, you can't use same thing. जहां पे दोनों अलग अलग ब्लॉक में होंगे, अलग अलग फैमिली में होंगे तो चलेगा। Getting my point? And that I will show you the scenario where how you can create two variable in two different functions. When we will cover that, you can say function topic, and most probably we will cover it in the next session. Getting my
Yes.
point?
Yes, sure.
So I'm binding the session, but the main thing is that please revise the things, connected with the, you can say, WhatsApp group, send your queries, not only send, try to solve others' queries. And trust me, after 1 month, I can bet on that you will comfortable on Java. Getting my point? And then
Yes.
your Selenium journey will be just like a, what you will say, nutcracker, something like that. Very, very easy. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm binding the session for the day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye, sir. Thanks a lot.